Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are well. We are here to do another Novice Guide video. This time it is for Dear Evan Hansen. So if you want to know what to be aware of in relation to that show, stick around and we'll get into it in 2 whole seconds. We're back and I actually have the programme. I ran next door to go and get it. But here we are, here is the programme. I saw it at the Wolves Grand, and before we get into this, hello, welcome to the Novice Guide. If you don't know me and my channel, I try and do 2 separate videos on every show I see. First one is this one. This is the Novice Guide, where it is about my experience seeing the show, my view. It's a new theatre, it's things like toilets and how front of house was, if there was any issues in relation to getting around the place or finding your seat, etc. Also, this is where we talk content warnings and sensory warnings and anything you might need to be knowing about in that regard. I said something really clever a couple of videos ago. Can't think what it is right now. It's kind of an everything you need to know about the show encasing. So yeah, we're going to talk about Dear Evan Hansen, the UK tour. I saw it in Wolverhampton and it has since moved on, which tours do, but I finally got the chance to see this show and very excited to do the next 2 videos. Firstly, let's talk about suitability, age restrictions, etc. So I have got information up on my phone. It suggests the suitability of the show is aged 12 and up. It contains references to suicide, bullying and mental health issues. So that is definitely something to be aware of, those 3 things. If any of them you've experienced in your life previously, it will hit home. Very much, it's quite an emotional show and it's not one that you could take young children to. It's just not that kind of show. I feel like you've got to be in a certain mental place to see the show and accept it, and yeah. So 12 plus is definitely a good ballpark area, and the content warning of it does contain mental health, talk of mental health issues, suicide, bullying. That is very much something to be aware of in this show. There is no depictions of suicide as such. Nothing happens on stage, it happens off, but there is discussions around them, and it's definitely something to be aware of for this show. I feel like if you are seeing this show, you kind of have some knowledge on the storyline before you go in, but if you don't, then this is your chance to know this. It does say, well, it did say on the Grand website when I booked my tickets that was something to be aware of, and it's definitely something that needs to be highlighted to be aware of. I'm moving on from content because I could go on saying the same thing over and over again for a good 5 minutes. Before I get into the sensory warnings, let's talk about my experience in the show. So I saw it in the Grand, I saw it in the Grand Circle, I saw it in D32, I believe. Either 32 or 31, they were my 2 seats for the show, which I have previously sat in for other shows. As always, I will try and put a little clip of my view for you to see. So it does have a slight restriction in view on the one corner, the corner closest to you of the stage. For this show, it didn't cause any problems. I didn't miss anything at all, but it does say when you book the tickets there is a slightly restricted view because of the bend of the top circle. So I knew what I was getting myself in for, and like I said, I have sat in that seat previously for different shows, 2 quite recently, so I knew what I was getting myself in for. and the bonus of those seats is that they are relatively near to the toilets, and that is something to be aware of when you're in the Grand Circle. The toilets are on the left side of you if you're facing the stage. Does that make sense? So the stage is here, you're in the auditorium. The toilets are on the left hand side. Wow. Can you tell it's really hot and my brain is not functioning 100%? As always, the Wolves Grand is fantastic and I've never had a problem there. The front of house staff always super helpful. The front of house staff member who was put on my door was a gem. I always like to take a picture of any cast posters that they put up just before you enter the auditorium, which again I will try and remember to leave here, because there was two. There was one saying what happened in the afternoon performance because there was some covers on, and there was also one warning about the flashing lights, I believe it was. I should probably check my photos, but like I said, I will stick it in. I will stick it up here, but it's basically said Dear Van Hansen contains haze and flashing lights. The performance is 2 hours 40 minutes with an interval, and then underneath it had this afternoon's performance poster saying there was cast changes. I actually saw it in the evening, so only one of those was correct, but I worked it out so it was okay. And whilst we're speaking about flashing lights and such, let's talk sensory wise. As I probably should say before I do the sensory side, my main moments to be aware of are visible guns and physical weapons. Loud noises, big bangs are my worst nightmare. Flashing lights can affect me sometimes, not always. It depends how flashy they are. If they are strobe and they go on for a while, I have to look down. But that is mainly my big things. This show had no visible weapons or anything like that. It didn't start with a full-on blackout, which is always a bonus. I always like to look at the conductor as well, because then I kind of know when they're coming in. But this show kind of starts with this slow fading of the lights, the house lights, and kind of phone noises and overlapping sounds, and then the show starts. Also in Act 1 there is one song, I believe it was during Waving Through a Window. I didn't fully write it down and I truly apologise if it is not the point or not the place in the show, but I'm pretty sure it's Waving Through a Window. Through the song, or during the song, the ensemble bring in these lockers. There are 3 of them, which are located in obviously 3 separate places on the stage. They are then, the doors are left slightly open and they reveal little lights. I say little, but they are quite powerful. They were quite bright initially until your eyes get used to them. And they kind of build as the crescendo of the song hits, if you will. Not flashing, but they are quite bright and something to be aware of. The other moment to do with lighting, again, not bright lighting, but throughout the song you will be found the use of screens throughout this show are quite cleverly used, and I will talk about it when I actually can speak more in the review video, which is next, hopefully. During, you will be found the videos portray different things from different faces and different clips of like social media and that kind of thing, and as the song progresses and it becomes the big moment it is at the end, which is quite loud, especially as there is not a lot of cast in this show, the wall of sound for these big crescendo moments in different songs really pack a punch and can hit you in the musical heart that you have. The use of those screens during these moments kind of you project a bit of a bright light. Again, nothing super in your face, but it is something to be aware of, especially if lights are a trigger for you. Act 2 starts in a similar way to Act 1 in that the lights go down slowly and the sound of people talking over each other, phone rings, phone bleeps, etc. all happen, and then again Act 2 starts. Act 2 again has a few moments but nothing major as such. The big one for me in Act 2 is during Good For You, where there is use of lights that flash at the same time that the music hits certain beats, so it's kind of simultaneously. Again, not massively flashy, they're just like pew, and then they stop. It's not like pew, 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 if that makes sense. I can't explain it any other way apart from sound effects. It's just my level of communication right now. But yeah, it's not like a sudden flash. Well, it is, but it isn't. It hits alongside the beat of the song. It's not completely in your face flashy, but there is a flash, if that makes sense. Also, the song Good For You is quite a loud song. Loud isn't the best way to describe it, but because the song Good For You uses 3 separate voices, it gets quite, how to describe it, not boisterous, but like 3 people are singing at Evan at one point and like saying good for you, not in a happy way. It does make that song a bit ooh, on your ears a little bit, but like I said, it's not like a majorly loud show and loud songs. The sound that comes from the complete ensemble and everyone on stage is like erupting, but it's not loud, it's just noise. It's like a wall of noise hitting you in your feels, making you cry. Maybe that's just me. The main thing for this show, I think, is the content that you need to be warned about as opposed to the sensory side. There are some moments of flashing lights and there is a few moments of a louder sound, but it's not a loud show, if that makes sense. Probably not, because when do I ever? So yeah, have I covered everything? Because this took 3 separate takes and 2 separate batteries, and I've been to the gym, thus the ponytail. I was gonna just try and like sneak it under the radar, but hey ho, I didn't. I shot myself in the foot and told you. So experience at the Grand Theatre, excellent as always. My view, pretty decent. It did say restricted, but it didn't really bother me. Age guidance 12 plus, 100% agree with that. There is discussion of bullying and mental health issues and suicide. It's something you need to be aware of before you see this show. It does say it on most websites, and the theatre's own website hopefully should warn you, but just in case. And yeah, there we go. I'm done. It might be one of the snippiest and most rumbly videos I've ever made, but that is okay. Hopefully, fingers crossed, the next video, which it will be the review in inverted commas for this show, I will be more, I was gonna say normal, but that's never going to be the case. more with it. But yeah, the Nervous Guide to Deer von Hansen. I hope this helps. If you have any questions that hopefully I can help with, then please put them in the description area. And yeah, I will leave this video here. So thank you very much, I love you all lots, and I hope you come back for more theatre based content next time. I don't know why I've done this post, but I quite like it. Ding! Right, all that's left to say is the usual. Thank you for watching this video, putting down the programme. Last thing is I love you all lots, thank you for coming back, and so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen and goodbye. Bye.